Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech, where we blend casual conversations with insightful discussions on the latest in technology and gadgets. You know, it's amazing how quickly things are changing in the tech world. I mean, just a couple of years ago, we were all worried about, I don't know, screen time. And now we've got AI writing our emails and air taxis on the horizon. It's wild.
It really is. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. Amazon's ambitious hardware reboot, the surprising reality of air taxis in London, and the hype surrounding NVIDIA's big AI event. We'll also look at how the FTC is approaching big tech and AI, some very cool new things Zoom is doing, and maybe even take a little peek into the future of the iPhone.
Sounds like a lot to cover. But first, a quick word about Amazon. I mean, the hardware strategy has always been, well, to put it bluntly, kind of basic, right? Like get cheap Fire TV sticks and Echo devices into everyone's hands and drive Prime subscriptions. Not exactly known for their premium design, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was about getting you hooked on their services, Prime Video, music, shopping, the whole ecosystem. Profitability on the actual devices wasn't the main goal.
But it seems like things are changing, and fast. They're now aiming to compete in the premium market, going head-to-head with Apple. And to do that, they've brought in a heavy hitter, Panos Panay, formerly the head of hardware at Microsoft. So the big question is, can Amazon really make this transition? Can they go from cheap and cheerful to premium and, well, actually make a decent profit from their hardware?
Well, Panda's background is really interesting here. At Microsoft, he focused on, really high-quality materials like the kind you'd find in car seats or like aluminum, really good hinges, very Apple-esque, That kind of attention to detail is exactly what he's known for. And if you connect the dots, it looks like Amazon's betting big that this higher quality hardware will push people towards their, $240 a year Alexa Plus Prime subscription.
Yeah, $240, that's a serious commitment, so I guess we'll see if those premium materials are worth it. Now, speaking of futuristic tech, how about air taxis in London? I mean, partnering with Virgin Atlantic makes this sound less like science fiction and more like, well, reality.
Just a few years out is what they're saying.
Pretty ambitious, right? Especially when you think about all the regulations and, safety concerns. But it's a really smart move by both Joby and Virgin. You've got Joby with their innovative eVTOL technology and Virgin with their, brand recognition, customer service, and all that.
Right.
They're aiming for a premium experience, and Virgin is the perfect partner for that.
Right. It's not like Virgin is going to be operating the air taxis themselves. More like they're providing the customer connection. So you'd book your Joby flight through the Virgin app, just like ordering an Uber, basically. Exactly. It's a similar model to what Joby is doing with Delta and Uber and other places. Virgin leverages their platform and customer base, while Joby actually runs the service in the UK, just like they're planning to do in, Dubai, New York, LA, all the big cities.
And it sounds like they're making serious progress with all the paperwork. Record progress is what we're hearing on FAA certification.
Well, it's not just the FAA, it's the Department of Defense, the UK CAA, everyone's involved. And the fact that the administration is making air taxis a very high priority, it shows that they really believe in this technology. And when we say record progress on FAA certification, keep in mind this is serious stuff. Battery safety, noise regulations, all that has to be ironclad before they can even think about, taking off.
It's not just about the flying cars, right? I mean, they need somewhere to land. What about these vertiports?
Yeah, those are crucial. They're basically dedicated takeoff and landing hubs. Without those, air taxis wouldn't be very useful, would they? It's like the early days of airplanes. You need airports before you can have, widespread air travel. And it's interesting, Joby actually has a long history with the DoD. They've been working together since 2016. The DoD even funded a 561-mile flight of their hybrid aircraft, so they're clearly seeing potential there.
It's pretty amazing how fast this technology is moving. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about a company that's been driving a different kind of technological revolution, NVIDIA and their GTC event. Investors are all over this one.
Yeah, NVIDIA is in the spotlight right now. Their growth has been phenomenal thanks to the huge demand for their chips in AI applications. But the big question for investors is, can they sustain this growth? Have they peaked already?
So what are investors hoping to hear from Jensen Huang at the keynote? It's got to be more than just new chips, right?
Oh, definitely. Investors are looking for reassurance. They want to know that demand is still strong, that NVIDIA is still the leader in AI, not just in chips, but in, robotics, autonomous vehicles, healthcare, everything AI touches. They want to know that NVIDIA is at the forefront.
And what about those growth margins? I keep hearing that term thrown around. What's the big deal?
Well, growth margins are a sign of a company's health. They show how profitable a company is, how much pricing power they have. If NVIDIA can show that their costs are under control and their profits are still strong, that's a big win for investors. It's also worth mentioning that, NVIDIA stock has taken a hit this year, but some analysts think it's actually more attractively priced now compared to, a year or two ago when valuations were, well, kind of crazy.
Right, valuations.
Yeah.
Always got to keep those in mind. But what about the bigger picture? I mean, the market's been a bit shaky lately, and there's a lot of uncertainty about future policies, especially regarding China.
Yeah, those are all factors, definitely. Things like tariffs and trade wars, those can definitely impact a company's bottom line. Increase costs, hurt consumer spending, all that. But for long-term investors, the focus is on fundamentals. What are the company's strengths? What are they doing right? Can they weather the storm? That's what matters in the long run.
Focusing on what they can control makes sense. Now let's talk about the FTC and their approach to big tech and AI under their new chairman. It sounds like we might see a shift in their strategy.
The biggest change is in the philosophy, really. The new chairman sees the FTC as a vigilant cop, enforcing the law, protecting consumers, but not necessarily trying to control the economy. They're focused on markets that directly affect everyday Americans, which, let's face it, includes big tech and healthcare.
And they're talking about a more efficient and predictable process for reviewing mergers and acquisitions, which I'm sure businesses will be happy to hear.
Yeah, that was a big complaint under the previous administration, the uncertainty and delays. The new chairman is saying, if a deal breaks the law, we'll challenge it. If it doesn't, we'll get out of the way. It's all about providing clarity and avoiding unnecessary red tape. They're also very concerned about, not stifling innovation. They've actually pointed to Europe as an example of what not to do, saying that too much regulation can actually hurt innovation.
So when it comes to AI, they're trying to strike a balance between promoting innovation and preventing monopolies.
Exactly. They recognize the potential for, anti-competitive behavior in AI, especially with these big companies.
Right.
But they also don't want to overregulate and stifle progress. They're saying they have the resources to go after companies that are breaking the law, but they also want to be efficient about it. It seems like we're going to see a more decisive and faster approach compared to the previous administration. And it's not just the FTC, by the way. The New York governor recently proposed a state-level vision for AI, focusing on adoption, IP protection, energy, all that. So AI is definitely getting attention at all levels of government.
It's good to see that they're taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to Zoom. I've been using their AI features a lot lately, and I got to say, they're pretty impressive.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. The adoption rate for Zoom AI Companion has been amazing, like a 68% increase quarter over quarter. That's huge. And the fact that these features are included for free with paid licenses is a big part of that.
But they're also introducing a paid add-on, the Custom AI Companion. So what's the deal with that?
Well, the Custom AI Companion is for power users, basically. It lets you customize the AI, train it on specific vocabulary for your industry, connect it to your other apps, that kind of thing. Zoom's betting that as people become more comfortable with AI, they'll be willing to pay for more advanced features.
Makes sense. I've been using the free version for, prepping for meetings, summarizing calls, making sure I don't miss anything. It's been really helpful.
Yeah, people are finding all sorts of uses for generative AI. And now, Zoom is adding what they're calling agentic capabilities.
Agentic, what does that even mean?
So agentic AI is basically AI that can, act on your behalf. Think of it as your personal assistant. Instead of just summarizing a meeting, it can schedule follow-ups, assign tasks, even draft emails. It's not just providing information anymore, it's taking action. It can reason, remember context, work across different Zoom products. It's pretty powerful stuff.
Wow, that sounds almost too good to be true. And is Zoom developing all this AI themselves?
Actually, they're using a federated approach. They're combining their own models with open source models and models from partners like OpenAI. It's a smart strategy, gives them more flexibility and access to the best AI technology out there.
Makes sense. All right, last but not least, let's talk about Apple rumors. There's buzz about a new iPhone model that could really shake things up.
Yeah, the rumor is that Apple is working on a new model, maybe called the iPhone 17 Air, or just iPhone Air. It would be like the MacBook Air, thinner, lighter, but still powerful.
So a slimmed-down iPhone, I could see that being popular.
Definitely. It's rumored to be about 20% thinner than current iPhones, which is a big difference. It's also supposed to have a 6.6-inch display, which is between the Pro and Pro Max sizes, and a new modem that's more power efficient.
Any other design changes? Did they finally ditch the charging port?
Apparently they were thinking about it, but the EU's new rules about universal charging ports kind of threw a wrench in those plans. But who knows, maybe this Air model is a stepping stone to a truly portless iPhone in the future.
Yeah, maybe. It seems like the quest for thinness never ends.
It really doesn't. Well, that was quite a roundup. Amazon's going premium, air taxis are almost here, AI's everywhere, and the FTC is playing catch-up. What a time to be alive.
Seriously. It's hard to keep up with all the changes, but that's what makes it so exciting, right?
Exactly. Who knows what the next big disruption will be?
Thanks for tuning in to Byte-Sized Tech. If you enjoyed the episode, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fun tech discussions.